All right. How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. We've got a lot of people online with us as well. One of the main purposes for what we're doing right now is to give every one of you out there, wherever you might be living right now, access to what it is that we do. We also fly all around the nation, but if you're visiting us here in your own home, thanks for being here with us. We're so grateful for you. I'm just going to make sure I've got some technology here working, and I think I do. Good, I do. So we'll go ahead and get things started. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. My name is Stephen Michael Miller. I'm one of the co-founders of Strongbrook, and really grateful that you've decided to take some time with us tonight. One thing that I understand is that time is the most valuable resource that we have. A lot of individuals don't really think of it that way typically. A lot of people I know think that money is the hardest thing to accomplish, and there's other resources, of course, but really time is the only thing that we can't ever get back. So we need to make sure that we're making the most of our time, that we're using it to the very best that we possibly can. And so whenever I have a group of people here with me, whether you're at home or here in the room, I feel an immense amount of gratitude for that, because I know that your time is extremely valuable. So I want to move in today to what we're going to be talking about. Of course, this is Strongbrook. This is who we are. I want to talk about our mission statement for just a quick second, because our mission is really important for us. We are about empowering personal and financial success, and we do that in a number of different ways. I'm going to get into the specifics of why we talk about personal success in regards to financial and real estate, which is really what we're going to be talking about today. Because it really all is, it starts in the state of mind. Here in the room, most of you can't see this right now. There's a few here in the room that can. If you want to take a look at the back right there, it says success in real estate requires an investor's mindset. And so I want you to think about what that means. What is an investor's mindset? How can we acquire an investor's mindset? How is that maybe different than your typical mindset? And how could that affect your future success? And so how do we get that? That's really what I want to go into. Before I do, I want to talk about the agenda. Number one, what I want to cover today is, are my decisions working for or against me? So think about that. Are your decisions right now working for or against you? What is your retirement number? What does that look like for you? On a monthly basis, on an annual basis? We'll get into that a little bit more. Third thing I want to go over is, who's in control of your financial destiny? Who's in control of that right now? Do you feel like you're controlling that, or do you feel like you're a victim to your circumstances, right? So we need to talk about that a little bit. And then the fourth one here, am I taking full advantage of my freedom to create my dream life? I have a deep-seated belief that we can all create the life that we want. I believe that most of us are in a position where we're not creating the life that we want because we just don't have the understanding of all the options. We were raised a certain way, and not that our parents were good or bad, I'm not going to label it right now. We were just taught certain things. And if we don't ever have a full picture, if we don't ever have all the information, it's really hard for us to make great decisions. So we're going to go into that a little bit as well. But I want to talk about the American dream here for a second. If you're online with us right now, if you're at home, hopefully you've got your pen and paper. We sent out an email, and hopefully you've been able to prepare yourself. And if you're here in the room, hopefully you have a phone or something, or maybe take some mental note. But you're going to want to take some notes for sure. But I want you to think about what your dream is. And I want you to really get clear, and I want you to get specific on what it is that you want to accomplish in life. I think most of us start off in life and we have all these dreams. As children, we have huge dreams. I remember as a kid, I used to want to be a stuntman. Now, my dreams changed a little bit, luckily for my wife and my family, because stuntman it's a dangerous line of work. But I also always wanted to talk in front of people. I always wanted to travel the world. I always wanted to do all these things. And now I do for work. Now I speak and I travel and I go all over the place talking to people about something that I'm passionate about. So I want you to get clear on your dreams. What is it that you want to accomplish? What do you want to create for yourself? But I want to talk about the American dream in a little bit of a different way for a second. Because to me, the American dream has always been sort of, let me put it this way. If it always remains in a dream state, it'll always remain a dream. I want to talk about the American dream in terms of bringing it in and changing it to an American reality. But I want to talk about the American reality that we all know right now, okay? First of all, the the financial outlook for the average American isn't very good right now. We know that in the past, we used to think that $1 million was going to be enough for us to retire on, right? If we could just somehow get that magic $1 million, right, become a millionaire, all of a sudden we'd be okay. Truth is, $1 million today isn't what it used to be. $1 million isn't going to take us throughout retirement and leave a legacy for our family, right? We've got to do something different. So it's not enough today. Right now, we're faced with just harsh reality. 60% of us have less than $25,000 in a retirement account, some sort of savings, right? That's a lot of us that are struggling, a lot of us that don't have what it is that we were looking for, a lot of us that are looking over towards retirement and it doesn't look like what we wanted it to look like, right? So I want to get into that a little bit. We know also in the future, and not even in the future, this is also right now what's happening, but it's getting worse and worse and worse, which is why I wanted to bring it up. We know that 2/3 of us rely on Social Security at retirement for 50% of our income, and 1/3 of us for 90% of our income. So retirement doesn't look like what we want it to look like. By the way, do you guys know how much the average person gets on Social Security? Any ideas? It's about $1,000 a month. Okay? How many of you would like to retire on $1,000 a month? I don't. I've got 7 children. And my desire for my 7 children is that they have more opportunity, not necessarily more money or anything like that. That's not what it's about for me, but that they have more opportunity for them than I had when I grew up. I grew up very, very poor. And I won't get into all the details of my childhood, but I will tell you a couple things because I want to drive home a point. I grew up in a situation, and I apologize. I know I've got everyone in the room here, but I've got a lot of people on the camera too, so I will be going back and forth, just so you know. But I grew up as a very poor child. My parents struggled and struggled and struggled financially. And to the point where we were on welfare for the majority of my childhood, and even worse, we got many, many meals out of dumpsters. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, my father took me for the first time dumpster diving, and I learned kind of the family secret, that a lot of the meals that we had came out of dumpsters. And I don't tell you that to evoke sympathy, but I tell you that to help you understand that there are things that I didn't know growing up because my parents just didn't know. They weren't taught, their parents didn't teach them, and so on and so forth, because it's not something that's really perpetuated here in our country. We don't know about financial independence and what that really means. We don't understand what we need to do and the specific steps that we can take to create a different future for ourselves. So instead, we all kind of take the same journey that everyone else has taken before us, only to find that we're in a position at retirement age, right, where we don't want to be. So what I want you to do today, if you go home and take anything home, it's that we need to look at our lives a little bit differently. If we can agree that the system that we have here is broken, where, aside from these statistics, 97% of us won't end up with a retirement that we want, because 97% of us are doing what we're told to do rather than forging our own paths or finding different options out. So I want to encourage you to find out other options, and I'm going to give you an opportunity later. So are our decisions bankrupting our retirement? Is this what retirement's going to look like for us, right? Are we going to go back to work? Because the reality is a lot of individuals end up having to go back to work, go back to retail because they can't, they retire from their great job that they had for 30 years, 40 years, and then they realize in retirement that it's not enough. And so we have to go back to work. And usually, the harsh reality is it's hard to get that same job again once you're out of it, right? You've got to go back and just pick up whatever you can. So we're stuck with limited income and no cash flow, reduced quality of life, anger, frustration, missed opportunities. Let's not let this happen. So I want to talk about, first of all, inspiring our decisions. I want to talk about this type of personal development. What do we do to develop our minds? Because my belief is that although we're talking about real estate today, if we don't first figure out the real estate in between our ears, if we don't understand how to change some of our mental blocks and limitations, we will always continue to run in these same exact patterns. And we'll find ourselves hitting against the wall over and over and over again. Again, my desire for everyone here is that we can start to remove those walls so that we can get further on in life and hit bigger and better and greater goals for ourselves. For me, it's not about having millions and millions and millions of dollars. That's not what it's about. For me, it's about realizing those dreams. It's about realizing our passions. It's about developing and being able to have the time and the energy to live in our passions and our talents and do those things that we love. And it's interesting for me because as I travel the world and as I meet very, very successful people, typically the most successful people that I know are those individuals that didn't run this path, right? Didn't just do what they were told or what their parents did, but they are typically working in those things that they are most passionate about, whatever it might be, right? So let's think about that. We have to change how we think, right? Have you ever wondered how many mistakes could I have avoided by having someone to ask advice? By having someone else that's maybe paved the way that I could have gone to, by having a mentor or a coach? Traits of a mentor is they're oftentimes inspirational. They enable opportunities. They teach us humility sometimes. They help others to cope and progress, improve social status, masters of success, right? These are some traits of a mentor. How many of you know who this is? Right? Michael Jordan, amazing. If I wanted to become a great basketball player, he's probably the first person I would want to go to, right? He's one of the best in the world, is known as one of the best in the world. Obviously, he's retired now as a player. But just a few things about Michael Jordan is he has a Nike endorsement, worth about $80 million a year from Forbes. You can see that there. He's got a net worth of about $1 billion. He played for the North Carolina Tar Heels. His coach was Dean Smith, who died actually this year. And when asked how he received or how he achieved his success, Michael Jordan specifically said it was because of my coach. He said, my parents, of course, were amazing influences, and my father he loved his father. Obviously, his father passed away not too long ago as well. But he said, almost all of my success in life and business and everything, I can attribute to my coach, Coach Dean Smith. And so, here's what he says. Other than my parents, no one had a bigger influence on my life than Coach Smith. He was more than a coach. He was my mentor, my teacher, my second father. Coach was always there for me whenever I needed him, and I loved him for it. In teaching me the game of basketball, he taught me about life. And so for Michael Jordan, Coach Smith was a massive influence in helping him to accelerate what I have no doubt that he would have probably achieved great success even without Coach Smith. Maybe not, right? Who knows? We don't know. But the reality is he attributes his success, aside from his parents, to that coach in his life. So how do we manifest this level of success, right? We need mentors in our life. We need people that have been there and done that can help us to avoid those pitfalls or those stumbling blocks and help us to accelerate our process. See, I believe in shortcuts. I believe that there are legitimate shortcuts in life. And I know that there's a lot of people that say, well, shortcuts are cheating, But the truth is if I've invented a wheel and I know just how to chisel it so it's round and it's perfect and I've got all the tools for it, I can either sit there and let you try it out on your own, right? Or I can show you exactly how to do it. That's called a shortcut, isn't it? Learning from someone else who's been there and done that before. So I want to help you see some different shortcuts that you may never have seen before, and I want to give you a few advantages here. So what if you committed 30 minutes of personal growth each day from some of the world's top mentors to transform your life both personally and financially, beginning with a free gift of mentorship? And I want to talk about what I'm talking about here with this free gift of mentorship. We've developed an app. How many of you have a smartphone? Okay, everyone's got a smartphone, right? Mine is over there somewhere. Anyone have it? Well, I don't need it. But if you have a smartphone, if you actually will go on to the Google Play, and I'll get to that in just a second. Oh, thank you. There's my smartphone. Appreciate that. So on your smartphone, if you have an iPhone or an Android, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give you a free gift right now. And this is no strings attached. This is always free if you want it to be. There are some other levels that I'm not going to get in today where you can pay for it, but there's tons of free mentorship right here on this app. And so if you'll actually go on to either Google Play if you've got an Android phone, or go onto the App Store if you have an Apple, and type in Strongbrook, spelled just like you see here, Strongbrook, S-T-R-O-N-G-B-R-O-O-K, and just type that in. You'll find our app and download it. Now, when you download the app, you're going to need an invite code. So whoever invited you here today, whether you're here in the room or here online, you'll need to go to the person and get that invite code from them. But once you've got that invite code, you can unlock that and today start mentoring with some of the top mentors in the world. If you look at this, you'll see Les Brown here, Dan Clark, Kevin Harrington, some of these names you may recognize. These are some of the top mentors in the world right now, top speakers in the world. Both Dan Clark and Les Brown are Speaker Hall of Fame inductees. Les Brown is really the world leader in motivation. And if you've ever watched Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington was one of the original sharks on Shark Tank. So again, people that can help us both with our mind and people that can help us with our finances, they're part of that app. So go on your phone right now as you're there, go ahead and download that app. And we'll be referencing that app here shortly as well, some more. So imagine a community of mentors. You could be a mentor too if you have a level of expertise in something. We're not going to get into that, but again, people that can teach you both personally and financially how to accelerate that process for yourself. You can search the mentoring network by topic, so whether it's business you want to learn about, fitness, mindset, family, goal setting, sales and marketing, or any of the other above or more. You can search by mentor. You can search by course, okay? And then you can also share this with other people for free. So let me ask you a question. Is there anybody else that you know in this world that could use some help? Right? We all do. Everyone needs a little help. This is a free application. Me? You're saying I need some help? Carl, yes, I do. I need some help too. We all do, right? We all need help. And so we have created this app to really be able to help people with some of those first steps. Give them free mentorship. Give them free access to information, knowledge that can accelerate their process, okay? I'm going to move on a little bit. These are just a few things that you'll see as you get in. This is what the app looks like. So you've got your home screen here. There's a welcome video that you'll press on right there just to start. That'll navigate you through the app, help you understand how to get through it. We have daily mentor moments, weekly Strongbrook radio that comes out, these notifications, premium access, social media where you can share it with people. We have live events. By the way, this event that we're doing right now today, if you go onto your app and you click on the live events tab, which is right at the very bottom, and you won't see this. I'm going to bring this up to the right there if you can see that. See the live events tab right at the bottom. If you click on that, you can actually watch this event right now directly from our app. So it's fantastic. You can share it with people all around the world, have them watch directly from our app wherever they might be. So that's a really exciting little piece of technology that we're just kind of giving away for free. And of course, you can share that app with anybody else. So go ahead and download it, install it. You can search, like I said before, Apple Store or Google Play, create a free account, enter the invite code, and then just commit yourself to daily learning, to increasing that real estate in between your ears, because the more we influence our mind, the more we change the way our thought patterns and the way that we operate, the better it's going to be for us, period. And then share the app with others around you as well. It's a free gift anyway. All right, so I want to dive into the real estate side. I start with the real estate in between our ears because it's really one of the most important foundational building blocks for us before we can start building financial success. Okay, so get your mind right so we can help get your pocketbook right as well. So I'm going to talk about facilitated real estate. What does that mean? Facilitated real estate. Well, it means just that. It's real estate that you're not doing on your own, but that's facilitated. We're doing it for you. We're doing it with you. I'm going to get into some details here, but before I do, I want to ask you a question. What is financial freedom? What does it mean for you? Anybody? Not having to worry about where your money's coming from, okay? I know we've got individuals online. By the way, as you're online, if you've got comments or questions, please chat them in to the chat box. If you're on the app, you'll have to scroll down until you get to the very bottom. But if you're on the website, you'll be able to see it just fine. But chat in any questions you have. We do have a moderator that will be able to get those questions to me as well. And I want to make sure that we are able to answer and touch on anything that you might have also online, not just here in the room. But yeah, not having to worry about things. What else? What else is financial freedom to you?
You don't have to work for your money anymore. Money is working for you.
I love that. Don't have to work for your money. Your money's working for you. I want to define it in very, very simple terms here, okay? Financial freedom is nothing more than residual income exceeding expenses, right? Once you've got a residual income coming in that's exceeding your expenses, you've got freedom, by the way. And when I talked earlier about our resources and our most valuable resources, and what was our most valuable resource that I said? What did I say was our most valuable resource?
Your brain.
Well,
Time.
time, thank you. That is true too. Our brain is definitely a very, very valuable resource. But time is the most valuable resource because we all have a finite amount of time, right? We don't know what that number is. So we need our residual income to exceed our expenses. And this is where this idea or concept of residual income is really powerful. Because what is residual income? It's income that continuously is generated after an initial investment of time, money, and effort. So it's usually something that you don't have to continue to put in more time and more time and more time or more effort and money, right? It's something that we can do once and it continues to work for us. So what I want to do and what I want for all of you is to create a residual income that exceeds our expenses and then goes even beyond that. So not only is our residual income helping us free up time and effort and money, but it's also helping us to be able to spend the time that we have doing more of what we want, right? Because we're not having to continue to reinvest our own time. So when your residual income is greater than your expenses, you no longer have to work, right? So I want to talk about some examples over here. I've got 3 individuals here, and they all look like nice people, right? We've got a doctor here. Let's say that she earns $250,000 a year. Pretty decent income, correct? Yeah, right, pretty decent income. She has $450,000 of combined assets. So I think we could look at her and say she looks like she's doing pretty well for herself. We've got a contractor, let's call it. He's earning $86,000 a year. He has $1 million of raw land. So he is, in fact, a net worth millionaire, right? He can call himself a millionaire. He is, right? So that's exciting. We have a teacher here, and she earns $40,000 of annual income. 10 rental properties. Let's just assume that is $350,000 worth of her input, of her financial outlay, right? Of her, what she's put in, her asset that she has put into that. So about $350,000. So if we were to look at, and sorry, I keep on moving out of the screen for these people. So if we were to look at that, who is the most financially secure right now? Just based on what we see there.
Teacher.
Why?
Because she has the money coming every month.
I was hiding it. Yeah, you're right. She has residual income coming every single month, right? These other two, although she's got $450,000 of assets and he has $1 million of raw land isn't going to do anything for him, is it? Unless he can convert it into some sort of payment, right? It's not going to pay him on a monthly basis. Let's take this a step further. Let's think about what really creates a true residual income. Because we've got different types of income, right? We've got earned income. One second. We've got earned income. Well, no, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, so she has 10 rental properties.
Yeah.
What about if there's an economic downturn and some of those people can't pay rent anymore?
You know what? Here, do me a favor. I forgot to give. I haven't been giving this around, just so people online can hear you again.
Okay, is it on?
Yeah. You won't hear it in here. They just hear it.
So she has 10 rental properties, but what if there's an economic downturn and suddenly she can't rent her properties?
Okay, so that is a perfect question. So first of all, I want to talk about the nature of rental properties in conjunction with economic downturns, because this is really important to understand. In the rental market, when there is, first of all, I want to debunk a few myths, maybe one to start off. There's a myth that you lose money in real estate when the economy goes down. That is a myth. That is not true. The only time you lose real estate, or you lose in real estate, is when you sell when you shouldn't have. That's the only time that you lose money in real estate. When the economy goes down, let me just tell you what happens. When the economy drops, what typically happens to people trying to buy property? They can't. Typically, when the economy drops out, banks tighten their regulations and rules. People that wanted to buy a home can't. So those people, what do they have to do? They have to rent, right? So if those people have to rent now, they can't buy, that means my rental properties, what happens to the demand of my property? It goes up. So actually, in an economic downturn, rental properties are in higher demand, typically also allowing me to charge more rent. So because I'm not in this for a flipping strategy, there's a lot of different strategies in real estate. We're going to talk specifically about ours in just a minute. But our strategy is one that is not market dependent, meaning when the market does fall, we don't. When the market does fall, we continue to get paid every single month. And there's a very small niche market that I'm going to talk about of how we do this, and I'll show you, I'll prove it to you, based on our track record of what we do, that I can't get rid of all risk, but I can definitely mitigate a large portion of it and help you see a margin of safety that is that'll help you breathe and sleep well at night. Does that make sense? Okay, and I will definitely get into that. So, great question. So let's get back to the residual income for just a second, because we've got three different types of income. We've got earned income, which is just trading our time for money. But if time is our most valuable asset, we want to stop doing that as soon as we possibly can, right? So we can use our time for what we want to. We then have net worth. But again, this has to be converted into cash flow. Net worth doesn't matter. I've had people come to me all the time that say, hey, I'm worth $10 million. Well, I don't care if you're worth $10 million. If it's not paying you on a monthly basis and you can't pay your bills, it doesn't matter, does it? The guy that owns $1 million of raw land, if he can't sell it, it's going to do him no good. Right? Does that make sense? Same thing with your IRA. You see those little things there, IRA, 401k, your savings, your home equity. We published this article. My business partner, Kevin Clayson, wrote an article years ago about the worst investment in America. And if I get an opportunity, I'll see if I can send that link out to everybody. But it was a fantastic article. And he talks about this investment where we put our money in. We lose money at the rate of a negative 3% a year. If we try to access that money, we're dinged and penalized, and we have to pay even more on it. If we stop paying to this investment, we lose the whole investment. Anyway, he talks about all these different points, and at the end of the day, it's our home, it's our personal primary residence, the worst investment in America. Well, let me just ask you: does that home ever pay you? Does it ever pay you any money? No, it doesn't, right? Is it when you have paid it off? Do you own it? Do you still pay taxes on it? Of course you do, right? So there's still a monthly payment, right, or an annual payment, however you pay it, right? But there's still you still don't own it. It is still a liability, not an asset. And when there's an economic downturn, can you access that? Equity isn't really equity anymore, right? It goes away, correct? So if that home isn't paying you, is it a good investment? Now, I'm not telling you don't pay off your home. I'm not telling you don't do those things, because those are very, very good things to do as well. For if no other reason, mentally, it helps us to clear up some mental baggage, But in the investment world, it's not a good investment, because literally you lose at the rate of inflation in that home. If you're parking your money in your home, in your bank account of bricks, you're losing money every single year. Even if there is quote unquote appreciation, you're losing money. Okay, so we help people to redirect those assets. We help people to make wiser decisions. I can show you in the same amount of time that you would spend to pay off your home, I can show you how to purchase free and clear properties that are paying you every single month, as well as pay off your home in the same time frame. We just do things a little bit backwards and different than we should in America, right? Or than would be better for us. So of course, then we have residual income, true financial freedom, which is again getting that doing work once and getting paid over and over and over again. So if you stopped working today, just think about this for a second. If you stopped working today, how long could you go before you had to go back to work? Don't answer it. Just think about it. Okay? If something were to happen right now and you could not go back to work, whatever reason, a child was involved in drugs and had to be in rehab and you had to be by them, or a spouse got injured or you got sick and whatever, right? If something were to happen, how long could you last before you had to go back to work? And how long could that teacher last? Well, if she lost her job, she'd be good forever, right? So I want to talk about this. This is a really important principle. How much money would you need to save to generate a $5,000 a month retirement income, assuming a 4% annual dividend? Any ideas? $1.5 million. You've seen this before, haven't you? $1.5 million. How realistic is it for us to accomplish this goal of saving up $1.5 million over our lifetime? Well, let's get into that here for a second. Traditional investments, are they enough to help us create retirement, right? What are our traditional investments? Go ahead and yell them out for a second. 401k, IRAs, what else? What are we told to put our money in? Mutual funds, so maybe stock market, right? We're told, which is kind of mutual funds. What else? We're told to get gold. My grandfather-in-law, that didn't even work. My father-in-law's father, he's at one point he had a lot of gold, and he did okay because he bought it, 80 years ago and and held on to it. That's a very, very long-term investment, and honestly, had he done with that money what we do here, he would have had a whole lot more than he ended up with. So we're told to put our money in all these different things, but I want to look at this for just a second. In order for us to gain or to accumulate $1.5 million, and even if we were to invest it at the biggest one here, which is the S&P 30-year average at 10.8% a year. Okay. By the way, I don't know very many people that even get that in the stock market, right? Most of them don't. They're they get 6-7% maybe, something like that if they're really good, right? But whatever. This is their documented average is 10.8%. So if you were able to get that over 20 years, do you know how much you would have to invest every single month? In other words, how much you would have to save and put aside and invest at that rate every single month to get that $1.5 million? Any ideas? You can't answer. Almost $1,800 a month. So my question is, how many of us are saving $1,800 a month? Okay, not many. So how do we bridge this gap? The reality is, for most of us,
how many people are even making that much?
Sure. How many of you are even making that much? Most of us are in a situation where we're spending 100% of what we earn, or we're spending 110% or 120% of what we earn, and gradually getting further and further and further into debt. Which goes back to that first slide that I showed about 60% of us not even having $25,000 saved for retirement, right? So how do we bridge this gap? There are answers. This is what we're here to talk about today. This is what Strongbrook is all about. We are a team of over 200 licensed professionals who assist our clients to build investment wealth portfolios. We've got hundreds of years of combined experience in what we do here. I'm going to go through some of the specific numbers. We've got actually 3,000 plus clients in every one of the 50 states. So this is updated since we had this slide. I need to go ahead and update that. And we've been around since 2007. The neat thing about that as a company since 2007 is we were actually doing real estate a number of years before that. So we've now done real estate in up markets, down markets, and flat markets, right? And I'm going to talk about what that's been looking like for us. But we've also proven how to successfully invest in those markets, how to help people create a residual income, where we've paid out actually over $5 million by helping people find investors that want to work with us. We have a culture and a commitment to personal development, like we talked about earlier today, and getting people on that life-changing course. And then in 2010, anybody know who the SEC is? The Security and Exchange Commission. They're a government body, one of the largest financial government bodies that their whole goal and purpose in life is to shut down fraudulent companies. So in 2010, we had an investigation brought up for our company. And the neat thing about that is I would never recommend it. Okay, if you can help getting a run-in with the SEC, don't. Okay, but the neat thing about that for us is we went through that entire investigation process and we came through with flying colors. And we didn't have to change anything that we were doing. It just made us a stronger company, which is very exciting for us. None of us went to jail. You typically end up in prison if you're doing something wrong. We weren't. So it was a huge boost for us. In other words, we have an approved business model. If any of you can do more research than the SEC on a company, please try. You're welcome to try. But this is how it works, okay? So when you start working with Strongbrook, this is how the facilitated real estate works. You'll sit down with a coach. They'll design your personalized game plan. Now, why do we stress a game plan so much? Why is a game plan so important? What do you think? Any ideas?
It helps you to see when you can invest in real estate or not.
Sure. Most of us don't have a financial plan in life, period. We're just living life. Like we're just getting by, right? We're just doing what we can. If we get that next promotion, fantastic. And hopefully we can then keep up with what we've got. I mean, honestly, let me just real quick pause and take us on this journey, right? We go to school because we're told to, correct? We go to school because we're told to. By the time we're a sophomore, we've changed our major 15 times, right? Because we didn't know what we wanted to do, but we were just told to go to school, so we did. So we finally figure out what we want to do, maybe, and we get our degree, and we get this piece of paper that tells us what? You did it, right? You went through 4 years of school, and now you're further in debt than you ever were before, right? So we get this piece of paper telling us how smart we are now, right? So that we can hopefully get a job instead of entry-level position, maybe we can get a job at a mid-level or mid-entry level position or something, right? Earn a little bit more. That's the whole purpose of it, right? So we can earn more, provide better for ourselves and our families. We get in the workforce. We get a job. We start to work, and we start to go along this whole process. And we hopefully get raises along the way that hopefully will beat out inflation, but oftentimes they don't, right? And so life just happens. And if you're me, life happens really fast, and you have 7 kids. I mean, literally, we have 7 children. Okay? My oldest is 12, and my youngest is 1.5. So all single births. So we know how it works. Okay. Anyway, so we had our children really fast. And what happens when you have children? Well, you've got to get a car, and then you've got to get a bigger car, and then you've got to get we have a 15-passenger van now, okay? It's about the biggest we can get for right now, unless I want to go with the school bus, and I'm not ready for that transition yet. So we're gonna hold with 15-passenger van. But then you have to get the house, and all of a sudden expenses pile on, but your income isn't necessarily growing with your expenses. So what do you do? And you find that this retirement fund that you were putting into, man, you got weddings coming up, and you've got college coming up, and you may have to dip into that, or maybe you need to refinance your home that you've been paying down and use that to go do other things because life happens, or maybe the roof goes out and you don't have an extra $7,000, so you've got to. You get my drift, right? You're constantly borrowing to pay, and then you get to retirement, and it looks exactly like what you wanted it to look like, doesn't it? Beautiful and sunshine and daisies. No, it doesn't. It looks like you didn't want it to look like. It looks like everything like you didn't want it to look like because we didn't ever go into it with a plan in the beginning. All we were doing was trying to keep up. Could you imagine building a house the same way we build our financial lives? Just kind of throwing it together, right? A couple nails here, board there, stick a faucet there, that's a house. It would fall in and collapse on us, wouldn't it? Well, that's what happens to us financially. And so instead of going about our financial lives haphazardly, let's create a game plan. Let's create a plan starting from wherever you are right now to where it is that you want to go, and let us help reverse engineer that process to give you specific steps so that you know and you can have a level of predictability of what that could look like for you. That's what we do. We educate you on growth and income markets. We help you to identify and access and leverage assets. We find and present deals that fit into your specific game plan, okay? Because everyone's is different. We facilitate the financing, and then you make the decisions. Our experts just facilitate the execution. We don't want you to be the experts in real estate here, although we will teach you a lot. What we want you to do is continue to do what you do best, and let us do what we do best. We have a saying that we say all the time in our company, which is if you want something done right, don't do it yourself, right? Most people think and say the other way. Most of us say if you want something done right, do it yourself, because we kind of live in this DIY society. We watch HGTV, and everyone tells us that we can do it all ourselves, and we can crash our own backyard and whatever else, right? We can do it all. But the reality is we can't do it all. And if I was to have a heart attack right now, I could probably go onto my phone and I could pull up YouTube. They're smart, aren't they? I could pull up YouTube and click on open heart surgery, and I could probably find a nice few hour video that would take me the whole process. And I could ask Carl over here if Carl will operate on me, right? And he can watch, and he's got a steady hand, so I'll trust him to operate on me, right? No, of course not. I would never trust Carl to operate on me because Carl's never done it before. And whether he's got all the information here at the palm of his hand and whether he's got a steady hand and he's really smart, that doesn't matter. What I want is someone with experience. So why do we operate on our own financial lives constantly? Why do we do it? We do it all the time. We think that we're smart enough. And it has nothing to do with smarts even. It has to do with we just don't have the experience. So instead of operating ourselves financially, let's hire an expert, someone who is a doctor in it, someone who has practiced it thousands of times, right? So that we know we have some level of predictability. So our approach to retirement is to let us facilitate it for you. We find the homes, we help you buy them, we fix them up, we help you finance them appropriately. We lease them out for you, we manage it for you, we maintain it for you, and then when you're ready for an exit strategy, we help you to sell that too and help you to exit appropriately. And for us as a company, we're going to earn about the typical 5% that we would make in those real estate fee transactions that would typically happen anyway, right? You've got to pay somebody to do those things for you. Might as well pay us. So at the end of the day, if you're making money, that's when we make our money. If this is successful for you, we get to be successful too. And I think that ends up being a really great win-win because we are truly motivated for your success because I don't want you to do one home with us. Andy, how many homes have you done with us?
We've done 4.
You've done 4 homes with us now. Was the first one a great home?
Yeah.
Second one was pretty good too. Third one good. Fourth, right? If they're not, if your first home was a horrible property and it just didn't do anything for you, would you have ever wanted to come back and do another one with us? Probably not. So we are motivated to make sure that your experience is a good one so that you'll come back and do it again and again and again. And that's what we're...
So the 5% is, you do all that in 5%, or is it 5% to find it, 5%?
No. Yeah, these are the 5, that's 5% total in your typical fees. So we own the real estate brokerage, we own the mortgage brokerage, and we own a few of the other ancillary companies that help in the process.
So you do all that
Uh-huh.
for 5%?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So let's look at the track record. Okay, I told you I'd prove it to you. Here's the proof. You can go online and see hundreds and hundreds of testimonials here. I don't have them here today, except for I do have Andy. She's a great testimonial. But this is our track record on our last 1,000 deals. Okay, average purchase price you can see is $137,000. Average square feet 1,708. Year built 2002. Average equity ROI, which is return on investment. ROI is return on investment. So the average equity return on investment is 20% plus. Average cash on cash ROI is 13% plus. Average price per square foot is $62. Average rehab $7,000. Average vacancy 42. By the way, that average vacancy is huge. I don't mean it's big numbers. I mean it's a big deal. Having an average vacancy of less than 43 days is unbelievable in a year. Okay, this is where, because of the system, because of how we do it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of those people that they get in a home and then they just squat in it and don't ever pay you for a year? You ever heard of that kind of situation? Mm-hmm. That happens sometimes, right? There are markets that we won't invest in because the laws are such that that's allowed. We invest in markets where that's not allowed, where we can get someone out in 3 weeks, right? We know where to go and where to invest and how to get someone out of a home. We know all that stuff, so you don't have to figure it out. That's where most people make the biggest mistakes in real estate is they jump in because a friend jumped in, right? They get excited because a friend got excited, and then when they realize that they're not a landlord or they don't know the first thing about the business and that it is a lot more complicated than just buying a home, they realize that they want to get out and real estate wasn't good, right? And that's the conclusion that they make. Well, that's not the truth. It's not the real estate, it's the driver, right? It's not the car. It's not the car that's broken or messed up, it was the driver, right? So we help people do that. And then this average hours saved per deal, 341, those are expert hours. We spend about 341 expert hours per deal that we put together for one of our clients. And that spans everything from finding the homes, fixing them up, doing the research on them, make sure it's a clean title, the whole auction process, MLS searches, whatever it's taking us to get that home. We do all of that for our clients. You're not having to do any of that, right? So we do all that. So in other words, like I said before, investing with strict parameters creates predictability. And the more predictability we have, the better we can maximize our profits and minimize our risks, right? Again, I can't get rid of all risk, but I can definitely minimize it. So here's an example of one of our homes in one of our cash flow areas. Like I said before, we're gonna educate you on the best equity growth and cash flowing markets and properties in the hottest markets. Indianapolis, Indiana is one of our cash flow markets. You can see a purchase price here of $89,900. TOP, which is total out of pocket. So your total out of pocket, if it's a finance property on this one, would be $25,975. Monthly rent is $950. PITI, that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So that's your whole mortgage payment, right, with everything included. That would be $465 on this property. Monthly cash flow, $379, which is a 5-year return on investment of 65%. That's great. It's fantastic. Okay. So what we do is we specialize in a short-term buy and hold strategy of single-family homes bought below the median, okay, with very strict parameters, like I said before, again, minimizing the risk and maximizing the gain, okay? So for us, it's about creating, not just doing any kind of real estate, but doing a real estate that fits into a very small box. And if it doesn't fit into that very small box, we don't touch it. We don't do it. Why don't we do $1 million homes? Any ideas? Yeah, small market. That's way outside of this small box, right? This small box are these parameters that I showed you before, right? These are the parameters, or some of them, that fit into my very, very small box. $1 million homes are way out there. $1 million homes, by the way, what happens if you can't rent that home out right away? It costs a lot of money, right? If you got $1 million home, you may have a monthly mortgage payment of 20 grand or 15 grand or whatever. Do you want to have to carry that? What if you have to carry that for 6 months? All of a sudden you're out 200 grand, 150 grand, 100 grand, whatever, right? And all of a sudden that investment makes absolutely no sense. And like you said before, Carl, the market is so small that wants that type of a property for a rental anyway, right? So again, we focus on a very niche form of real estate because in that small box, I do have a level of predictability, okay? Based on actual data, not just hopeful, right? Not just maybes, but actual data. So this is where real estate becomes really, really fun because real estate does something that every other investment that I'm aware of can't, which is real estate can grow dynamically. Real estate can have $1 working for you in multiple locations. Does that make sense? Let me show you what I mean here. If I can help you to get one home the right way, if I can help you purchase one home the right way, okay, the Strongbrook way, then what I can show you to do is to take that home and I can have that home now purchase your next home for you. Okay, and that means you're not coming back out of your back pocket with more money necessarily on your next home and your next home and your next home. I can show you how to have that home help fund your next property. So now that $1, although you're not selling that home, right? You're still you're still holding on to home number 1 here. You're just now buying home number 2 with some of the assets of home number 1. So that an original outlay of money is now working for you in home number 1 as well as home number 2.
So, like, for example, that
Here,
first
let me grab you this.
Okay, so that first property you were talking about,
Yeah.
you had, was it $397 income? Is that what you used to buy the next home?
Yeah, so it takes time. So you've got that as well as appreciation, which happens. Average is 4%, but in our equity growth markets, it's a different story. But yeah, you take that and you roll that in, and you then purchase your next home.
I thought you had to have a down payment to buy a home.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, we'll show you all. So these are some details, and I'm not going to get into all the detail tonight. But yes, we have all the answers for what you're talking about. And one thing that I will recommend, which I'm going to recommend to everybody, is get a game plan. Truly, it's free anyway. Get your options, and we'll go specifically over exactly what you're asking and get into it. There's just too much to cover here with that. But yeah, definitely. We're going to show you how to do that and exactly how it works. And over a 20-year period, I can show you actually how to turn 2 homes with just one initial outlay of money into 13 paid off free and clear homes in 20 years. So it's a really exciting the way it works. And it's not something that the average person can do. It's very specific to our system because of, again, that kind of small box that we've created. We've created real estate into a sort of a widget where if we stamp it down, we know it's going to be pretty much the same thing every time, right? We don't vary. So I know that this home's going to do this for me. The next home's going to do the exact same thing for me because I don't vary in my parameters. It's just the same every time. So when you work with us, you're assigned a project manager. They leverage our team of experts for you, help you access the best properties. We facilitate the funding, fixing, leasing, and managing of those properties. We help you then to protect those properties, right? We're talking about creation, management, protection, and growth of your wealth, right? So if you don't protect it, you could lose it all, right? That's one mistake that a lot of people make when investing is they don't protect it properly. So we help you do that through LLCs, through estate plans, different things like that you need to have in place. So we help you put that in place. And then we help you as you're expanding your portfolio, buying and selling. Again, for us, this is a long-term game. This is a long-term relationship. We're not about just selling you a home and saying goodbye. We want to make sure that what we're doing for you is helping you to achieve your financial and retirement goals, right? And so that's going to take some time. Most of our clients will be with us for years, because of what we do. So this is kind of like what I said before. If I can help you start off with 2 homes, this is just one example of 2 homes, and then I can help you take those 2 homes and over the next 20 years, turn that into 13 paid off free and clear homes. Taking an initial investment of, let's call it $80,000, let's just say it was $40,000 per home. Let's shoot high here a little bit. I can help you take that $80,000 and over 20 years turn it into a net worth of $1.8 million and $132,000 plus cash flow. Okay? Again, this is something that real estate does that no other investment really does, which is it also allows you to leverage, right? It allows you to use other people's money, the bank's money, to grow your wealth even faster than you ever could on your own. So what does it look like to work with us? Let me get into some of that real quick here. First of all, we have 3 different levels here, and we have a 4th level I'll talk about as well. Those individuals that know that they've got assets to work with, they've got great credit, and they're ready to get going right now, they'll typically want to start with our Elite Professional Service Agreement. It's $16,000 one time. It's unlimited. It's basically like putting our team on retainer for you, okay? So that retainer right there gets you started with an unlimited amount of homes. The Empowerment PSA is $8,000, and that allows you to transact 4 properties with us. And then we have our Essentials Professional Service Agreement, which is $5,500 and allows you to do 1 property for us, okay? Basically, again, putting our team to work for you. Now, I mentioned that 341 hours. Remember that I mentioned before? So if you were to do this on your own, taking your time to do it. Oh, real quick before I get into that, this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It shows that the national average weekly income is $1,027 a week. So that's the national average.
It's not in Utah.
The national average, okay? So obviously there's a lot of people that make less than that, and there are people that make more than that, right? But so if that's the national average, that comes to $25.66 an hour, okay? So taking those numbers into consideration, let me just back up one more time here. That means if you were to spend those 341 hours on your own, just to do the 1 home, it would cost you, just in your time, $8,750 for 1 home. For the 4 homes, it would cost you about $35,000. And this is on 5 homes, but if you're getting that, you're typically going to do probably more, right? But anyway, on just the first 5 homes, that's $43,750. So we're already saving you a lot of money, just up front, just in the time. Not to mention the discounted properties and the management and everything else that goes into all that. Okay, so your time is far more valuable than that. Where a lot of people, they'll start, we know that a lot of people don't have the ability to start right now in buying their first property or the first few properties. And so what we did is we created what's called our MAP program, which is the My Action Plan. This is all about getting the proper education and getting prepared to be able to transact later. It's $499 and $99 per month. And every single bit of that monthly payment and every single bit of that $499 go towards your eventual purchase of one of our transactional professional service agreements, okay? So it's kind of, you're building your way there as you're working with our team already and starting to understand what it is that you can actually do. So I want to talk about a few things here. I've gone over kind of what we do and how we do it. But I want to give a few. I'm going to go into the free offers here tonight because I told everyone, I sent out an email, and I don't know if everyone got the email, but I did say I was going to give away some free things. And I am, more than just one. I already gave away the free app, which is huge, by the way. This app has cost us a lot of money to put together. And the reason why we put it together is because we understand that you've got to be square here before you can be square in your pocketbook, right? Before you can start earning a lot more money, you've got to change the way you think. Because if, has everyone heard the definition of insanity as put across by Einstein? If you continue to do what you've always done and expect a different result, that's insanity. So we need to change our thought patterns. We need to change the way we think, how we think, what we think about. So download this app for free. If you haven't gotten it, please get it. Both those people here in the room and online. It is completely free. The second free offer, and I mentioned this before, is everyone is going to have an opportunity to get a free game plan. I'm going out of screen here for just a second, but you should still be able to hear me. I've got a couple, thank you, Carl. Got a few things here. This is a game plan request card for those of you that are in the room. For those of you that are online, we've got our moderator who will post a link in the comments section for you to get your own free customized game plan. You'll want to click on that link, go on, fill out all the information. It's going to ask you for your name, your phone number, your email, and the best time to reach you. And we'll actually have one of our staff here, one of our game plan specialists, give you a call. It doesn't have to take anything more than 15 to 20 minutes. It's not a really crazy long conversation where they're going to get an idea of what it is that you can do and help you see how our system can benefit you in your current situation. Again, J.B. Shea was a French economist back in, I think it was the 17th or 18th century. I don't remember now exactly. But he said creating wealth is nothing more than taking our assets that are in areas of low yield and moving them into areas of higher yield. That's it, right? It's pretty simple definition. So if we want to create wealth, we have to take our assets from areas where they're not performing well for us and just move them into areas where they'll perform more. And so that's what that game plan is for. It's going to help you understand some of those options that you don't currently see. And this is something that I say oftentimes jokingly, but also I want to get you to think a little bit. How many of you like to make blind decisions? Right? None of us? You don't? What? No. You don't like that? That just ruined my whole presentation. No, I'm just kidding. No. Right? None of us like to make blind choices. We like to have our options. And, I think in life, we often do go along making blind decisions and blind choices unbeknownst to us. We don't understand that there's other options out there. So we're just going along with the best that we have. So let us open up a little bit for you. Let us clear up maybe some areas that are now dark for you, show you some options that you don't currently know you have, and that's done through this free game plan, okay? So fill that out. Here's another free offer, and this is also for just a limited time right now. If you do invest in the MAP PSA, we will give you the essentials for free. We'll basically throw it in there. So instead of just paying the $5,500, if you're paying the $599 a month, we will allow you to transact with us your first investment property as well. Not just get the training and education, but also do that as well. So that is very limited right now. You can see here for the next 100 investors. It may even be less than that now. We've had a number purchased recently. So that is another free offer. That is a limited time offer. This is another, I'm going through all the fun offers right now. Last month we did something that we've never done before. And we extended a really significant discount to our professional service agreements. And we decided to have it be 1 month, and we closed it out, what was it, 2 days ago? Yeah, we closed it out 2 days ago, and we received such, I won't say an uproar, but we received a lot of communication from our independent business developers and clients who had friends and family who also wanted to take advantage of that discount. And so we decided to extend that discount through the month of December. So here's what that discount looks like. I'll do that again. So the $15,000 to $16,000 PSA, it's now a 25% discount. So it's $12,000 instead of the $16,000. The empowerment PSA is $6,000 instead of the $8,000. Again, this is only through the end of December. I just want to make sure that you understand this isn't some gimmick. Andy, have we ever done this before?
Yes, and I had one,
I mean, besides November, have we ever done this before?
no.
No. Yeah.
No.
And what were you going to say?
Yes, I had one client that upgraded.
Sorry, here.
I did have one client who already purchased the 4 transaction. She just did the Elite
Yeah.
Monday night,
Yeah.
3 hours before the deadline, and saved herself $4,000. So
Yeah.
her remaining balance was like maybe $2,900.
Yeah.
And so Strongbrook is willing to work with people after hours
Yeah.
to take advantage of this. And so I'm so happy that it's being extended to December.
Well, last month was Gratitude Month, Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You know, we wanted to
In
show our
fact,
thanks to all of our
I
clients.
had that feeling that it might be
That it might happen?
it might happen in December. So that
Oh.
is way cool.
Cool. I appreciate
Way
that.
cool.
Thank you.
Way cool.
So we are extending it only through till December 31st. It ends midnight of December 31st Mountain Time. So if this is something that you'd like to take advantage of, again, this is no pressure. This is just something that we want to extend through December. You know, the holiday seasons are a wonderful time because we're with family, we're with friends. We're oftentimes reflecting on our lives, we're reflecting on our year. And, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas time, to me, what better gift can you give yourself or somebody else than a step in the right direction towards true financial freedom? There are so many people that are struggling right now every single day, even to put food on the table. So at the end of so what I would recommend is, first of all, share the app with them. It's free. It doesn't cost them a thing. Share the app with anybody and everybody that you know. Get it out there. Our goal is to get it all across the world and to give that resource for people to start helping their minds, start improving their attitudes. I believe that if you think that you can, you can. If you think that you can't, you won't. And that's just the reality of it. So I'm trying to help people start to see options and possibility that they haven't seen before. And so that's what that app is for. Then maybe we can help them also get help in other areas too, right? Help their financial aspects of life as well. So that's that special offer. Now we have another special offer. There are a lot of special offers today. We're just feeling really generous right now. But we've got what's called our Strongbrook Intensive that's coming up, December 10th, 11th, and 12th. This intensive is 3 days jam-packed with us pulling back the curtains on exactly how we do everything that we do. And in addition to showing you how we do all of the facilitated real estate, we're also diving in to a number of different creative real estate ideas and concepts and things that we've also implemented for over the years as a company and individually. Some really exciting things. This is a program that is valued actually way more than $497, but we have a $497 price point on it. That being said, if you turn in your game plan today and you submit it either online or here in the room, if you'll submit your game plan to us tonight, okay, then we will also allow you to get that event, that 3-day event, for $69. Now, it is a full 3 days with myself, my 2 business partners, Chris Crone and Kevin Clayson, 2 dynamic individuals, very great speakers and extremely knowledgeable. It's going to be a phenomenal event. Definitely worth the $69. I will tell you, if you leave that event, and by the way, this event is also going to be streamed live. So if you're paying and if you're here in Utah, you're welcome to come here, and we're going to be holding it here. If you're somewhere around the nation, you can watch it in the comfort of your home. It's still $69. If you don't get your value, if you don't feel like it was worth $69, it has a 100% money back guarantee on it. So we'll give you the money back, okay? I'm not worried about that. We haven't had that ever happen. I don't believe it will happen. But if it does, no questions asked, I'll give you the $69 back. So plan on it. Come, be here with us, okay? And submit that game plan so that you can receive that. So get the news before you choose. Don't have to make any decisions today. I'm not expecting anyone to run up here. I'm not doing any gimmicks here, okay? This isn't but tonight only, you can get it for no. This is what it is. This is a month-long promo that we have going on for the PSAs. My desire for each and every one of you here in the room and here with us online is to submit your game plan, Just get your free options. Find out what works for you, what may work for you, what won't. And let us help you if it's going to work, if there's some possibility there. Now I want to transition here for just a quick second, because I also sent out in my email that I would talk about some creative forms of real estate, because there are people that don't know what their options are. They think that they have absolutely no options. I mean, I know for a fact there are people either in the room or online with us that are telling me or saying in their minds, Stephen, I have maybe 2 pennies to rub together, and that's about it, right? I trust me when I say I understand. I have been there for a large portion of my life, childhood. That's exactly what I experienced, and I get it. One thing that I never experienced, though, as a child and growing up in my teenage years and even early adulthood, was I never had someone come to me and say, Stephen, I've got options. I've got something that you could even do right now, that you can start doing right now to start changing your financial outlook and your financial outcome. And had I had someone do that to me or approach me like that, I would have welcomed it with open arms, because I knew, even at the young age, that I didn't know everything. I knew that there was a lot of information that I didn't have, which was separating me from where I wanted to get. I had big goals and dreams. And I also had a wonderful mother who told me every day that I could do anything that I wanted to. And I believed her. So I was on this path constantly of trying to figure that out. So I want to show you some ways where right now, regardless of where you're starting, where you can start to take control of your financial destiny. What if your Strongbrook experience also gave you access to our creative real estate / affiliate program for free? Now, this is something that we just give away and allow individuals to start earning their way towards retirement through real estate investment. I'm going to talk about what that looks like here just a little bit. We have a wonderful, we call it sort of a profit sharing referral business, right? This is our affiliate business where you can earn powerful residual income. Right? We talked about that in the beginning of having residual income. Real estate produces that, and businesses can also produce that. This is where people can get paid. So if someone were to purchase, for example, that MAP professional service agreement at $4.99 and $99 a month, you could get paid $250 and $26 a month. That's a great start, okay? And there's a whole lot more as well. You can earn direct referral income of up to $3,000. Earn overrides of $1,000. We have a $35,000 home bonus with as few as 75 home credits. Now I'll talk to you, I'll help you understand what that is real quick. If you were to bring someone to the table, Andy, have you introduced this to somebody who's taken advantage of it? Oh, yeah. Who's now purchasing real estate? Yep. Several people, right? Every time that person or those individuals purchase a home, what do you get?
I get a home credit.
You get a home credit.
I get 2.
Yes.
Get 2.
That's awesome.
2. They just closed.
That's fantastic. So you get home transaction credit. So what this is really a way to indirectly partner with individuals around the community. If right now you're stuck in your financial goals, I won't even say that. If right now you're at a certain point in your game plan and you're maybe in a holding pattern, maybe you're waiting for this home to appreciate or more money to come in as you're accumulating and ready to go invest in your next property. This is a way that a lot of our clients have now been able to accelerate what they've been able to do in real estate. This is a creative way where they can now use their own sweat equity rather than maybe home equity, right, to be able to build their way towards their next home. And so the more people that Andy introduces to what it is that we do who actually transact real estate, we will keep track of every home that one of her clients or one that she brings to us. Every time they transact a home, we'll keep track of those. And as soon as few as 75 credits have accumulated, we will then pay her a check for $35,000, okay? Pretty exciting. It's as simple as just sharing the free app, because even on this app, I didn't go into this earlier, but on the app, when you click into it, there is a free course section. And right there on the free course, there is a free real estate course. And I can't remember how long it is. I think it's probably about an hour long in all or something like that. It's a phenomenal course. It's worth about $300 or so that we just give away for free. And then on that app, they can also request their own free game plan. And by the way, if you refer them to that app, it's automatically tied to you, right? So we never lose track of who referred who or whatever. It's all part of that app. It's a great way to get people interested in what it is that we're doing. So you share the app, people that work with us, the more homes that they do, the more you get paid. Does that make sense? Okay, really, really simple, easy way to creatively start your real estate portfolio. Okay. Here's a few individuals that have earned these checks right here. You see Ryan, Sharon, the Roberts, the Norrises. They're actually in, actually those 4 right now are in Hawaii with one of our, we do a personal development retreat every so often, and they're right now taking advantage of that. So, and yeah, the Norrises are there, and so are the Roberts. Yep. So again, you can earn great direct referral fees just by referring somebody to us. Overrides of up to $1,000. That's $35,000 checks are amazing, and so on and so forth. And like I said before, every dollar that's invested in that $4.99 and $99 a month goes towards your eventual transactional professional service agreement. So just to summarize real quick, what do you all need today before you leave here? What do you need to do? Get a game plan, right? You've got to have a game plan. And if you are married, we want you and your spouse on there because it's phenomenal information. You're going to want to be there together. Don't think that you can give it to them after the fact, okay? It's too much. Trust me on this one. We've been doing this for almost 9 years now, and you both need to be there. This is a large decision if you're going to make it. If you're going to work with us, it can be a big decision, and we understand that. So we need to make sure that both of you are on board. If you're single, great. Just come on, do it yourself, and that's okay. Become an affiliate with us. It's free anyway. It's a wonderful program. You can earn money. Like we said, this is just all a review. So a couple announcements before as I'm wrapping up here, and then I'll open it up to some Q&A here as well. Strongbrook Live, the next event just like this is going to be December 10th. That is a Thursday, okay? Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. By the way, that is the same day of our Strongbrook Intensive. So the intensive will be December 10th, 11th, and 12th. Going from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on that first evening, 6:30, we'll have our Strongbrook Live event. Okay, so we're actually going to be doing some fun things in the intensive to help you even right off the bat earn money and do some different things. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But so put that on your calendar. Invite all of your friends and family, whether they can come in here in person or they're somewhere around the nation or even here in Utah and they want to be home. Give them a link. Have them watch it. Share the app with them. They can watch it directly from the app as well. Okay. Every Monday, I have a global training call with our sales team, our affiliate team. Okay. Any one of you that want to be an affiliate, please jump on. Even if you're not an affiliate yet, I don't care. Okay. We have no secrets here. There's nothing to hide. They're phenomenal trainings, okay? So jump on with us. It's at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every single Monday. The phone number is 712-432-0075. The access code is 358-204#. I recommend and invite every single one of you to be on with us every single week. There's new content. We have mindset training. We talk about updates with the company. It's just a great source of information to help you start getting the word out even more. We have other live events that are all streamed through the app, so if you don't have the app yet, there's something wrong with you, because just kidding. We've given you ample opportunity. No, I'm just kidding. So get the app, and then of course, if you can make it December 10th, 11th, and 12th, the price is $69 if you submit your game plan. Come on, we'd love to have you there with us. It's an amazing event. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end. I do want to open it up for any Q&A. If you're online right now, I know that there's a little bit of a delay, but please chat any of your questions into the chat box, and we'll have our moderator relay those questions to me. Are there any questions here in the room from anybody about anything that we've talked about today? Real estate, the mindset, anything that we do here at our company? Any questions? Nothing's off limits. Open book. And like I always say, this is like a buffet, right? So if you go home hungry, it's your fault.
So does it have to be, the property should be here, or is it going to be anywhere in the U.S.?
Great question. He said, so you all heard his question. I get in the habit of repeating them sometimes. Our main markets that we focus on are right now Memphis, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Orlando, Florida. We've done a lot of real estate in in Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada. And there is still some opportunity there, just not as much as the other 3 right now. So those are the 5 main markets that we focus on. We can help you do properties in your local market. If you're here in Utah, we can definitely help you do property here. But we are going to recommend that you do property that's going to be best for you and for your portfolio. I think there is an old stigma that you have to do real estate near you, right? You have to buy things because of the fear, I think, usually. It's usually the fear factor. You want to make sure that you can drive by on it and check on it and make sure it's going to be okay. The more you get to know us, the more you'll understand that when you have a team like ours in place, your fear really goes away. You don't have to worry about that. What we're most concerned about is getting you very top dollar with minimal effort on your part. I'm glad that you asked that question because I want to talk about 6 criteria real quick that we use in evaluating why we are going to invest in one market and maybe not another, why I might prefer to invest in Indianapolis, even though it's not here in Utah, right, as opposed to my backyard. Those 6 criteria are: we looking for an investment that takes the least amount of time, the least amount of effort, and the least amount of risk. Okay, so at least time, effort, and risk, those first 3. Then I also want to make sure that it's profitable, of course, right? What's going to be the most profitable, what's going to provide a service in the community, and then what's not going to be market dependent. So those 6 criteria are really important for me when I'm evaluating any investment area or any investment period, right? If I'm gonna take what we do here in real estate and put it up against the stock market, I'm gonna pull it apart based on those 6 criteria because that'll really even the playing field for me. So least amount of risk, effort, time, effort, and risk, creates a service in the community, is not market dependent, and what was the other one I missed? Profitable, did I say that one already?
It's a service in the community?
Correct. Yeah, I'm putting people in homes. There's a lot of there's a lot of real estate that is predatory in nature, and we just don't believe in that kind of real estate. So we do real estate where we're providing a service, where we're actually putting good people in good homes, and it ends up being a great win-win. So good question. So I would never, right now, Utah's not the best place to invest. It's not a bad place necessarily to invest. It's just not the best. So we're going to steer you to where we think are the best places, but it's always still your decision. If you say, hey, I want to invest here in Utah, we'll say, oh, great. Let's help you do that. Good question. Ryan, are there any questions online?
We don't have any questions yet, but Vaughn Stocking wanted to say thank you. These get better every time.
Oh, appreciate that, Vaughn. Thanks for watching. All right. With that, I want to end with one thing, and I know I've gone a little bit over on my time, but I do want to end with one little bit of mindset training here. As we go through life, we get to a point where failure becomes a really bad thing for us. How many of you like failure? Anybody? We don't like failure? No, I think most people don't like failure because it hurts, because we had some sort of goal or aspiration and we didn't accomplish it. Typically, when that failure happens, we make some sort of judgment against ourselves. But it's interesting for me because I observe my children on a regular basis, and I watch them learn and grow. And if you ever watched a little baby, right, a little newborn, when they're first born, and I'll use my youngest son, Abram, as an example. When my youngest son, we call him Baby Abby, but anyway, Baby Abby, right? So when he was first born, he would just sit there, he would lay down on the ground, and he would observe all of us, right? And he would watch me and my wife and all of my other children. He would watch us all walk around. He would listen to us speak to each other, and he would try to imitate what it is that we were doing. And as a baby, I mean, if you've ever watched a baby do what they do, they're laying down on the ground, they're kind of kicking their legs and moving their arms, flailing around. And if you think about it for a second, what are they really trying to do? Yeah, they're trying to crawl, walk. They're trying to imitate us, right? They're trying to do what we're doing, but they can't. So if I say it, I'm going to say it in a really bad way. So these babies, my son Abe, is failing miserably, correct? He's trying. He's trying to walk, but he's failing. I mean, it's horrible. You know, what are you doing, little kid? You know, you don't say that, right? And as he's failing, do we get on their case? As a baby, if a baby can't walk right after the baby is born, do we get on their case and say, oh, you horrible baby? No, right? We don't do that. That would be silly. But what do we do instead? We cheer them on, don't we? Every little movement, every little sound, everything. We're like, oh my gosh, that was the most beautiful, amazing thing that you did. You twitched your finger, you know? And we encourage them, and we clap, and we scream, and we yell. And, you know, I was observing this just a couple days ago with my youngest, with Abram. He's 1.5 now, and he can walk just fine, and he's not talking much yet. He's saying a few things, but he was doing something, and the whole time, I can't remember now exactly what it was he was doing, but he was doing this little action. And every time he did it, we were just, you know, yeah, and cheering him on, and he would do it again, and yeah, you know, and everything that he did, whether he was doing it well or not, we were cheering him on. Like, it was amazing. What happened? Why do when babies fail, we cheer them on? Why do we allow them 12 months or 15 months or 2 years of time to learn how to walk and to speak and to do all those things? Why do we allow them that space of time? But all of a sudden, for us as adults, we don't allow ourselves the same leniency. We think that because we're adults, we have to be perfect at things, that we're all of a sudden supposed to know it all, right? I'm a father of 7 children, but just because I have 7 children doesn't make me a great father all of a sudden. I have to learn how to be a good father. I have to learn how to treat my children, who are all specifically different people and have different personalities. I have to learn how to help them and how to encourage them individually in different ways. And in that process, I am going to fail. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So rather than getting on my own case, rather than you getting on your case and beating yourself up for failure, let's learn to cheer ourselves on. Let's learn to be okay in that growth process. Let's learn to see our life, whether we're 80 years old or 100 years old or 15 or 20 or 30 or 40, whatever, right? No matter where we are in our life, let's see that part of our life as a learning experience and growth process. And if we can, then when we hit those failures, rather than feeling like a failure, we can feel excited. We can encourage ourselves. We can say, it's okay, get back up, right? My son, as he was learning to walk, I remember I would hold his hands and I would put his feet sometimes on my feet, and he would walk, and I would literally walk with him, right? Because I understood that if I let go at certain points, he would fall, and that's okay. It's okay for him to fall. But I would hold his hands and I would walk with him, and I would help him experience what it felt like so that he knew the motions and he knew the movements. Honestly, that's a lot of kind of like what we do here at Strongbrook, is we're helping to hold someone's hands who hasn't learned how to hasn't figured it all out financially yet, right? We're just holding their hands so that they can take some steps so that they can get there faster and sooner, so they can learn that process. Their muscles can get accustomed to taking those steps, right? And so I just want to encourage all of you, as you're trying to figure out what it is that you want. You're here for a reason. Whatever that reason might be, it's your reason, and that's okay. But you're here for a reason. Be open to some possibility. Get your free game plan. If it makes sense for you, come and spend some time with us on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Invest in yourself. Spend the $69, okay? You'll spend it on fast food next week anyway, right? So spend the $69. Come and be with us for three days. Learn some amazing information that could very potentially change your life. And do things differently. Whether it's working with Strongbrook or not, decide today that you're going to do things differently. You're going to look at yourself differently. You're not going to beat yourself up when you make a mistake, but you're going to move forward and use that failure as a springboard to your next success. So with that, I just want to say thank you. Any other questions before we end?
So that Strongbrook intensive?
Yeah, here, let me give you this.
Okay. Will a person like me, if I attend the Strongbrook Intensive, I am registered for it.
Yeah.
Will I benefit, even though
course.
I've been a client for 8 years?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I could learn other strategies in real estate.
For sure.
Okay.
Yep. Come and be with us. Anybody, whether you have been with us for 10 years or this is your first introduction to us, you want to be there. Yeah, for sure. Ryan, anybody else online?
No questions on
Okay,
mine.
great. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for your participation, all your questions.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. And I'll stick around as well.